Alright y'all, so welcome back. Alright, so today, well not today, but during this video for FSA review number 7, you're going to be looking at the graphs of f of x equals x plus 4 and g of x, which is the absolute value of x. All absolute value ever means is the distance from 0, because it's always going to be a positive value. And what do we always consider distance to be? A positive value. So don't get too freaked out when you see those bars next to the x. It just means absolute value. So your output or your range will always be positive numbers. All right, so for numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the quick review, we're referring to this graph here. And then number 4, we're referring to this graph. So just so that you are familiar with what I'm referring to. All right, so fill in the table for each. So f of x. All right, so here's the graph of f of x. It's this dotted line. And I want to know what the value of f of x is when x is negative 3. So let's go from 0. So my negatives from my x's are over here. So 1, 2, 3. So that would be a positive 1. So let's go over to negative 2. That would be a positive 2. So then negative 1 has a value of 3. And at 0, I have a value of 4. So in your first table, you should have 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so now I'm looking at g of x. So g of x is this lovely line here that looks like a V. All right, so negative 3, g of x is 3. Negative 2, g of x is 2. Negative 1, 1. And then 0 is 0. So we finished our tables. So question number 2. What two ways from the information above could you determine the solution for f of x is equal to g of x? So the solution to f of x is equal to g of x is negative 2, positive 2. So and you could use the table and or the graph. And then again, what is the solution to f of x equals g of x? So negative 2, comma 2. All right, so for number 4, all we're doing is reading the graph. So you want to list 3 points that appear to be solutions to the function shown in the graph. Hint, they are points that fall on the curve. All right, so if I look here, this point looks like it falls on the curve. So that is, my x value there is negative 3. My y is a positive 4. All right, I would say that that point also lies on the graph. So that's negative 1, 3. Right, and I would say this also lies on the graph, and that would be 1, comma, negative 1. So if you don't agree with that one, you can also say that this point lies on there, which would be 3, negative 2. All right, so looking below, again, all you're doing is using the graph. So what is the positive solution? So when they say positive solution, like when I set these two functions equal to each other, what is my x going to equal? So you can see where they cross. So, and then over here, you just want to figure out which points lie on this graph. So go ahead and plot your points. So for example, I would go, here is 1, negative 1. Is that on my graph? No. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out. So keep doing that with the remaining points.